Hello English learners, and welcome back to Easy English Stories. I'm your host Oliver, and today we are stepping into a world filled with a little bit of magic and a lot of beauty. This story is about a special discovery and how kindness can make wonderful things grow. Get ready to imagine a place where flowers can do amazing things. Before we begin, here are 5 key words to listen out for. As always, I will read these words and their definitions. And as I read the story, I want you to listen for these words. The first word is enchanted, and this means filled with magic, having a magical quality. The second word is sparkle, to shine brightly with flashes of light. The third word is blossom, and this means to produce flowers and to develop well. The fourth word is vibrant, and this means full of energy and life, bright and striking. And our final word for today, delight, and this means great pleasure and happiness. So something that is a great pleasure and happiness for you is a delight. Now is time for our story. Look out for these words. But first, if you're new and you enjoy this podcast and listening to stories in English, make sure you are following or subscribed to the podcast so that you don't miss the new stories every week. Let's get started with today's story, The Whispering Petal. In the quiet village of Oakhaven lived a young woman named Lyra. Lyra loved nature more than anything. She spent her days walking in the nearby woods, admiring every leaf and every tiny flower. Oakhaven itself was a simple place, with sturdy grey houses and a small, plain village square. One Sunday morning, while exploring a part of the woods she had never seen before, Lyra found something extraordinary. Nestled among some mossy rocks was a single flower, unlike any she had ever seen. Its petals were a deep, shimmering blue, and they seemed to glow with a soft inner light. It felt truly enchanted. As she watched, a tiny drop of dew on one petal began to sparkle. A dew is a tiny drop of water, and it began to sparkle like a miniature star. Carefully, Lyra reached out and gently touched one of the glowing petals. As her finger made contact, the petal detached itself from the flower and floated into her hand. It was warm and felt alive. Lyra took the petal home, wondering what to do with it. She thought about the dull, empty patch of earth in the middle of Oakhaven's village square. It was a place where nothing ever seemed to grow. She decided to plant the shimmering petal there. She dug a small hole, placed the petal inside, and finally covered it with earth. She watered it gently and waited. The next morning, when she went to check, a tiny green sprout had appeared, and by midday it was a small bush. And by sunset, a single glowing blue flower began to blossom from its tiny branches, just like the one that she had found in the woods. The villagers gathered their eyes with wonder. The flower was so beautiful, so full of light, and it filled the square with a gentle glow even after dark. Lyra realized the petal had a special magic. She carefully took another petal from the new flower and planted it next to the first. Soon more flowers began to grow, and then more. She continued planting petals around the square, and slowly the dull patch of earth transformed. Within weeks, Oakhaven's village square had become a vibrant garden filled with glowing blue flowers. Children played among them, their laughter echoing. People would sit on benches, simply watching the flowers sparkle. The air was filled with a soft, sweet scent. The garden brought immense delight to everyone in Oakhaven. It wasn't a secret anymore, it was a shared wonder, a reminder of the magic that can grow from a single enchanted petal and a kind heart. What a beautiful transformation. I hope the story, The Whispering Petal, filled your imagination and helped you to learn some new English words. Don't worry if you didn't understand everything. The aim is to learn a few new words each episode. Remember to follow or subscribe to Easy English Stories and rate the podcast 5 stars wherever you're listening. And I will see you in the next time for another magical English story. Goodbye.